Hello, everyone. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. And I got to start with this because this has been everywhere. Thousands of people are posting screenshots on X showing they closed their Binance account. Binance had to hold withdrawals due to the outflow. This is exactly how the FTX collapse started. Get your money out of Binance. Now, I don't know what's going on here, but apparently Binance halted trading and people got pissed off and started doing a mass account closure. I want to see where this goes from here, and I'll definitely keep you updated on that as well. They're also fighting on CZ, and he called off the super cycle this year, which we all know we're still going to see a massive run-up on XRP. Ripple scores full EU money license. Ripple has officially received a full electronic money institution license from Luxembourg's regulator. This means Ripple can now operate regulated digital payment services across EU nations. This strengthens real-world use cases for Ripple's native assets like XRP, XRP Ledger, and RLUSD. And I don't think this happened by coincidence. In a landmark first, Ondo has received EU regulatory approval to list the first round of Ondo tokenized stocks and ETFs. 500 million investors across 30 markets in the EU and EEA can now access Ondo tokenized stocks and ETFs, including, and you see the list right there. Now, what is the chances Ripple gets a money transmitter license and then Ondo also gets regulatory approval in the EU at the same time? That just happened. And again, we all know Ondo and Ripple are working together. This happened at Ondo Summit. Take a listen to this clip right here.
Where they're at in terms of their adoption cycle. To some extent, we have pretty material deregulation. I think if you chat with major bank executives in a private room or asset managers or really anybody within traditional finance, I think they're actually largely relatively prepared. You know, they've been looking at this stuff for a while. They've been doing pet projects for a while. Do we see that side bet turning into more of a larger scale bet? And what really does that mean? Is that something that's positive, you know, from a crypto perspective, or is that something where you know, they're going to try to sort of co-opt the narrative, perhaps?
I was on a panel with the heads of a bunch of big, huge, publicly listed alts firms, and almost all of them were super negative on Bitcoin and crypto and had no exposure whatsoever. And this is within the last 12 months. And it's like, that's why I'm so bullish. Like, all these $100 billion crypto or alts firms have zero Bitcoin or crypto. And that's why I'm still so bullish, and that's why I think the next 10 years are so good. And I was on a CNBC thing once, and they were like, hey, Bitcoin's a bubble. I'm like, how can you have a bubble nobody owns? Like, you can't have a bubble when the median holding for institutional investors of both cryptocurrencies themselves or blockchain venture is literally 0.0. So that's, you know, that is why I'm so bullish. And then, you know, Tom and I have been doing this for a long time.
Now, he said 10 years. This is going to happen a lot quicker. All we're waiting on is regulations. Once we get regulations in place, all of a sudden, everything gets the green light. And there's going to be a race to get into this space. This is not going to take anywhere near 10 years. You're going to see this happen in 2026. The institutional money is already sitting on the sidelines waiting to go all in. Because whoever gets here first, they get the upper hand on the competition. And then what has to happen? The competition has to get into this space. And that's going to set off a massive network effect. I think we're going to see a massive wave of institutional money hit this space this year. All we're waiting on is regulations. New York. As New York Stock Exchange President Lynn Martin stated, tokenization will seep into every market. Take a listen.
So what we announced this Monday was that we've developed the infrastructure which allows for the tokenization of equity markets. And it brings in all of the positive aspects of a tokenized environment. 24/7 trading, digital settlement, immediate settlement, and writing to a blockchain, as well as what's needed in the equities markets, including fractional shares, trading in notionals, the demand that we've heard from customers.
This is a big deal.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
This is a big deal to go to a tokenized platform. Do you think every market will eventually be tokenized?
I think aspects of the technology are going to seep into every market.
She's saying every single market is coming on chain. And right away, you see Ondo Finance brings tokenized treasuries to the XRP ledger. That happened last year. Now it's about to get so much bigger. Ondo has no signs of slowing down. Ripple isn't slowing down. And the institutions, they're ready for this moment right now. That's why this year is going to be massive. Mint Day, 2 large mints of RLUSD on the XRP ledger. 59 million and then 28,200,000 RLUSD on the XRP ledger. So RLUSD is also going to continue to pick up more and more momentum as well. Right now, it's all about stablecoins because stablecoins are the door openers for XRP and XLM. You got to get the banks used to using a stablecoin. Then you introduce them to the secret sauce, XRP and so on. Breaking, Vitalik Buterin declares the original vision of L2s and their role in Ethereum no longer makes sense, and we need a new path. Instead of going through everything that Vitalik wrote, Jungle Inc. broke it down in such a much easier way to understand. Vitalik just admitted the L2 first dream is hitting a wall. While Ethereum spends 2026 trying to fix fragmented layers and training wheel multi-sigs, the XRP narrative is looking stronger than ever. The reality check, ETH layer 2s are stalled. Most still can't run without human multi-sig overrides. XRP is built for this. No layers, no bloat, just 3-second finality and institutional grade settlement. The contrast, Ethereum is trying to build what the XRP ledger already is. Complexity is an attack vector. Simplicity is the winning trade. So now it's showing weakness for Ethereum. And look at what happened. Where are all the Vitalik is dumping on retail post? Vitalik Buterin has sold 493 ETH worth 1.16 million over the past 8 hours. And I think since that post came out, he even ended up selling more than that. So what's going to happen with ETH now? Are people going to start pushing away from it? We've seen that happen in the past. A lot of projects jumped off of ETH a long time ago, moved to better networks. This shows you that XRP is way better than Ethereum. XRP is going to take the number 2 spot away from Ethereum. That is going to happen. XRP was already the number 2 asset before the Ripple versus SEC case. Then that case that slowed Ripple down and everything else started moving forward. Bitcoin got a free pass, ETH got a free pass, and Ripple got tied up with the SEC. Now that that's over, we are going to see such a big shift in this market now because XRP finally got a level playing field. And regulations are going to give even more momentum for XRP as well. David Schwartz reveals the future that will let institutions deploy billions in liquidity on the XRP ledger. This is what David said. Ripple has 300 plus bank partnerships, but after 13 years, shouldn't there be billions in daily on-chain volume? I think there are a number of reasons why institutions have historically preferred to use digital assets off-chain rather than on-chain. I think we're close to changing that because institutions are starting to see the benefits of moving on-chain. But I agree, it has been very slow. Even Ripple can't use the XRP Ledger DEX for payments yet because we can't be sure a terrorist won't provide the liquidity for payment. Features like permission domains will address this, and that's what's going on with DNA Protocol. XDNA is a privacy-compliant utility token that applies zero-knowledge proofs at the verification layer, while maintaining transparent, auditable, and deterministic settlement on the XRP ledger. But that's what's taking so long. The final pieces of the puzzle are still getting put in place. Plus, we're waiting for a lot of upgrades to happen on the XRP ledger as well. Once everything is in place and we get that institutional adoption and we're starting to see that institutional money flow into the XRP ledger, all of a sudden that's going to look like a flip of the switch moment. But I still believe the true flip of the switch comes later when the banks finally come out of the testing phase. It's going to start with tokenization and the use of stablecoins, and it's going to end with XRP rising as the world's bridge currency, moving tokenized assets, moving gold-backed currencies from point A to point B. And I'm telling you now, if you're still here when that happens, you will be retired like an overnight event as well. It's going to come quickly once the regulations, that's the first piece. You get the regulations, you get the institutional adoption, and it opens up a ton of utility for XRP. We are very close to this happening now. You see all the upgrades that are happening with the XRP ledger. That's another part of the puzzle. But the good thing is, that's getting done quickly as well. It seems like everything just got accelerated in 2026. That's why I said by the end of this year, I think we're going to be looking at a much different XRP. But until it all happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.